you're actually at war right now with Mark Zuckerberg.
Me.
Yeah.
It's almost like personal.
It's
I think like it's personal.
I heard
he
he's
doesn't
sending.
like me.
I heard he's sending his Facebook warriors after
Yeah,
you.
he's got a whole team working just on my page.
Literally.
I want
It's
it.
insane.
So how have you hidden from him?
So I had to actually go like incognito, so they would allow me back onto
Of
Facebook.
course.
And I hope he doesn't watch your podcast. Let's hope you're not that popular
won't.
yet.
Well-
Which, by the way, I want to say thank you because it's an honor for me to be the first guest on this.
Absolutely,
Right?
yep.
So
It's an honor to have you, my
Thank
brother.
you so
Yes,
very
sir.
much.
You know,
I
absolutely.
watched a couple of the videos that you sent me of you guys. It's a lot of fun. It looks like it's going to take off. I really wish
Thank
you all
you.
the best.
Appreciate that.
But it's an honor and a privilege for me to be the first guest on this podcast.
Well, if I
let's
feel
hope
like
that-
I feel like you're gonna bring in the
well, here's what I was just
people
going to
gonna
say.
be like,
Let's hope it takes off and it is as popular as I think it's going to be. Because if me being the first guest and it goes downhill from here,
Yeah.
that's my responsibility.
No, absolutely
Like I
not.
made that happen. You just been doing so well, and then you got Anthony on, and now
I had told Bart the night we met, well, I met you rather, which was also an honor to meet you that night because Bart talked a lot and very highly of you, and the description of you was to a T that
Oh,
when
yeah?
I
Yeah,
seen,
he
I
nailed it.
seen you
Nailed
outside,
it.
and I was like, "That's Anthony."
oh, that's so funny.
I know that's Anthony.
my
very
my
funny.
description
From the
was
window, you
imagine
inside.
imagine King Leonidas but bigger and scarier.
Yeah, absolutely.
like,
Boom.
And
like this is Sparta.
Yeah, like just
But-
kicking Spartan kicking
That's
them
so
up.
what the takeaway was, I
you
told
did
him.
actually say that night you came in. You said I knew it was you from across the street when after he described
You're
you were
hard to
going up
miss,
to see
bro.
my boy at the bar.
And
you
it's a
said-
tinted window.
And you said
So,
yeah.
so that's pretty. You got an aura. Yeah, he had an awesome
Like you saw the energy.
bodybuilding looking
Yeah.
shirt that night.
We
That
see
was
that,
just
you see that.
incredible. But I told
Those are my
Bart,
work
I
shirts
says
and my
if
gym
we
shirts.
ever like,
This is my dress clothes.
I said if we ever
Actually, this is the first time I saw you like
if
that.
we get rolling, we got to get Anthony.
Yeah.
like
yeah.
but the idea was actually to follow you in the club.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, yeah, because I
Like
was
to
like,
do it
you're
on
such
site?
a colorful,
Yeah.
entertaining, and like intimidating
Well, listen, like
person.
a legit character, like he says, of Staten Island. You're part of the mesh, of the fabric of Staten Island. I've been around for so long.
On the island
I've been on this. Well, I moved to the island in '88 when I graduated high school. From Red Hook, Brooklyn, from
Red
Park
Hook,
Slope, from
got it.
Carroll Gardens.
Oh, okay.
My family's all over South
the
Brooklyn.
real Brooklyn.
Right, real Brooklyn.
That's where you from,
So-
kind of, right?
Yeah, I was born in Park Slope.
Yeah.
I was
From
born
what
in
part?
Methodist Hospital.
I forget exactly what block of Frida Shank and Michael Sosona. Michael lost his legs in Vietnam, both double amputations.
So Shank sounds very familiar.
Yeah, but the two brothers were wild. It was two twin brothers, and Frida Shank was the sister.
Okay, so I know a Michael Shank.
They would put it like this: they did the PS28 reunion, whatever it is.
How old are they?
They're hitting 70, 60,
Oh, no.
mid 60s.
Oh, they make me feel young.
Yeah, they do the
You are young.
Well,
PS28 reunion.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
go
yeah.
up and they're like,
that's funny.
Those red
Because
carpet.
on my block where I lived in Park Slope for a little bit, there was a Shank family. And they were very liberal Midwestern type people. And they had two young kids, three actually. And they were almost like hippies. They had a little garden in their backyard, and they used to sit outside like an Indian style on the
Yeah.
floor and pick the leaves. They were a great family, and I still keep up with them on Facebook actually. So I was wondering if they were related because that's Park Slope
I know
area.
of Shank family. I know Shanks. They're here in Staten Island now, no?
Well, there is a Shanks. They moved
Yeah,
out here.
yeah.
The daughter actually got married and moved to Staten Island.
I do know not a couple, but I know at least one Shank. I know how to make one too.
So Brooklyn,
Prison
in
life.
'88, you come into the
Next time.
island.
So I moved to Staten Island after graduating high
What
school.
brought the move on, if you don't mind me asking back then?
So funnily enough, we were living in Park Slope, and my mother, we came to Staten Island to visit my mother's brother,
Okay.
who was married and had a house in Staten Island. And you know the seduction. Look how beautiful the house is, and we pay this much for it. And look
So
at the
different from
property.
Brooklyn.
From '88, Staten Island was different from 2000.
Yeah,
absolutely.
big time.
21. So that planted the bug, So for the next few months, my mother telling my father Giuseppe, "Why don't we think about moving to Staten Island? We could sell this house here. The neighborhood's changing, as everyone always says,
Sure.
right? But 2020 hindsight, having known what Park Slope would have turned into, you stay." Because the house would have been $1 million plus,
At least.
right? A house that they
It's
paid $37,000
House
for in the
gardens,
40s.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I have family in Carroll Gardens. They paid $37,000 for a three-family house.
Yeah.
When they moved here in the 50s, and now you can't $1.7 million, $1.8 million.
Easy.
But they sold it and left. you know, for 60, 70,000, which was they thought was an amazing profit.
Hey, we had my family had a house on President Street. I
President.
It was right on the edge, right where the entrance to the battery tunnel is, right across the street from that little triangle park.
Yes.
I don't know how much they.
So that's funny because I had a family. The house that I was just talking about was on President Street and 3rd Avenue, and the corner
pick up
of
garbage
that block. Do you?
Yeah.
So the corner of that block used to be a bathhouse because the houses didn't have bathtubs back in the 40s
Yes.
and 50s. So that was a bathhouse where all the families in the neighborhoods went to take baths, probably once, twice a week.
From the neighborhood.
Everyone, because
Wow.
none of the houses had. If you had a bathtub in your kitchen,
That's
where they
interesting.
were,
Yeah.
you were like
didn't know
affluent.
Were they
You had
wearing
money.
masks?
No, not back in those days.
So it was
No,
a luxury.
so it was
to
That's
have
the reason
that.
why we're in the situation we're in now, because everybody was bathing together.
So was
That
that
is
considered a luxury
disgusting.
when you did
Look.
have it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you had a bathtub, which
Fucking
some
ass
people
water.
had, and they were in the kitchen,
Yeah.
in the middle of the floor. I remember my aunt's house, her apartment had a bathtub in the kitchen, and they would fill it up with the hot water from the stove and stuff, and from the sink. They had to boil water and fill it up. It was just a copper tub.
Yeah.
There was no plumbing,
Right.
and you were affluent if you had a bathtub. Like you were one of the more middle class, higher class
Yeah.
families. The rest went to the bathhouse. Why would they have a bathhouse that was the size of a football field to accommodate the entire area to take baths? There were no bathtubs.
Wow.
So they had the house right next door to the bathhouse. And that's how I remember when I was a kid. They used to bring me there. I was a kid. I mean, 5, 6 years old. And they had the house next door to the bathhouse.
So if you're
President
still
Barry-
alive from a bathhouse era, you're gonna live forever.
Well, if you were, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're like a walking glowing
You're
stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's none's gonna get you. But that's funny because
Yeah, you're good.
that's funny because like look at all the crap we take for granted. Like back then, you had to walk somewhere and bathe in ass water of other
Yeah,
people, and
yeah.
today, and like, you know,
Well, like India.
don't yeah,
These people are doing their laundry in the river with people bathing next to them.
Yes.
peeing in
I have
us,
seen
All in the same-
animals.
Yeah, all in the
videos.
same river.
Yeah,
All in the same river.
don't take nothing for granted. You know,
No, absolutely.
That's
Appreciate what you have.
Absolutely.
all the time. You're a giant man. Do you work out?
Well, I mean,
And if you could get into your workout routine and the
You
people
know-
you eat as for protein and,
Right,
and
right.
substance,
you know I train. I mean, we've talked about training for years since I know you, since you're a kid. Since before you went away to the military. We've always spoke about working out, and then when you came home, we spoke about working out, and when you got on sanitation, we spoke about working out, and all your injuries here and there, and we spoke about working out. So yeah, I mean, obviously I train. I've been training. I started lifting weights in 1985 in Fifth Avenue Bodybuilding, Brooklyn. That's in my
Good
neighborhood.
era. Good era.
Yeah, and the gyms back in those days were more hardcore, legit.
Gyms.
leaky, steamy,
Everyone-
sweaty.
I'll tell you how funny. Like in that gym, it was the first gym I ever went to.
Okay.
And I started training to build up strength for fighting because I originally started training martial arts when I was 9. So 1980, I
Okay.
started training martial arts. And the dojo that I was training in was upstairs from the gym. And when I used to leave, I used to watch legit silverback gorillas walking in and out of the gym. These guys were tremendous big black guys from Barbados and Honduras and Trinidad. And I used to say, what the fuck is down there? Were they like making monsters? So I went downstairs one time and I couldn't even see over they had a plywood divider when you walked in that you had to walk to the counter. And I couldn't see over it into the gym area. And I remember stepping up on the lip and looking over, and it was like the fucking Bronx Zoo. They were just monsters. Like guys had like leaves hanging out of their mouth, like they were gorillas.
Yeah, they were fucking
I
beasts.
said, "What the fuck is this?" And I went by the counter, and the guy says to me, "Hey, you're interested in joining the gym and stuff?" I said, "I don't know, to be honest." I said, "I'm upstairs." I said, "But I see a lot of guys coming in and out." I said, "You know, pretty impressive. I'd like to at least look around and see what it is." And a guy came over to me. His name was Dave Brewster, the first guy that ever told
Love
me how to
that
work
name.
out. Dave Brewster.
Good name, right?
He
Yeah,
was a
it's catchy.
4 foot tall from Tobago.
His height and name you can never ever forget.
Listen, he was
I'm
the
never
best.
gonna forget.
They used to
That's how
call
you
him a
still
Smurf.
remember
They
him.
used to tease him because he used to come in the wintertime. I guess these tropical guys from the islands in the Caribbean don't like the cold. He used to wear like a big wool hat that hung over a little bit, like a Smurf, and he was this big. And I'm short,
Yeah.
but he made me look like a basketball player. Like I
Really?
towered over him.
Yeah.
So he said to me, you know, with an accent, "Anthony, you interested in lift weight?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You meet me tomorrow, 5:30." He used to come from work. He worked for Merrill Lynch. I'll
Okay.
never forget it. This guy was my mentor at the time.
Sure.
So I was so excited to work out. I was waiting. I walked outside. I was pacing back and forth He said meet him at 5:30. I was there at 5 o'clock. I was walking back and forth outside the gym waiting for him. I see him coming up out of the train station, the F train on 5th Avenue.
Yeah.
He was coming up out of the train station, and I watch. I see him. I go, oh my God, here we go. This is my time. And he brought me into the gym, and he gave me a rudimentary training routine, little by little, with him. Every day I trained for years with this one particular guy, and he had a partner named Arthur. And they taught me everything at the time of what they thought was the way to work out, and the nutrition and everything like that.
This was the start of gym
First time I
life
ever
for you.
lifted weights.
You were hooked. You had
You were
the
hooked
bug.
from that point on?
1985.
1985.
I met him at the gym. He taught me from that first day, and now I'll tell you how OCD and insane I am with my anal retentive anxiety. I've almost never missed a day working out. Aside from being in the hospital sick, or I had a motorcycle accident years back, I've never missed a day working out.
You don't look it.
From that, well, thank you. I appreciate
Today
that.
you
But
did.
From that, I did today, but I'll make it up.
But he still don't
right?
look it.
Listen,
He
I
still
took
don't
the
look
day off today to come and do this,
Absolutely.
the honor
Thank
of
you.
being on the podcast. But even in my head,
Honor's
my OCD,
ours.
like I say, thank you. I'm going to take the day off, and I'm going to go do a podcast with my boys. But I'll be in the gym tomorrow. And now, because I took this day off, I have to train
You
Saturday.
got to punish yourself.
Yeah, I can't miss the day. I just have to reschedule for when I'm going to
I
do
love
it.
that.
Anybody
mentality.
who's serious about the gym, they know what that punish. I know you do.
Yeah.
Because if we start missing stuff, like I'm gonna go to that gym and I'm gonna cripple
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
I'm gonna walk out of here,
I have to absolutely
Wrecked.
pay the price for taking the day
pay
off.
the price.
But so here's what I'm going to tell you. So then I met him up for that day. I never lifted weights a day in my life, knew nothing about it. So he put me on the bench, and this is not to brag or make myself look any, like some big monster. But
Which you are.
I was only, so listen, I was born in 71, so it was 85. I was 14.
Yeah, you're young.
I was a kid.
That's young.
I was a kid, but I was already training martial arts for a lot of years. And my intention was to work out to get stronger for the fighting.
Got it.
I figured that by working out, my fighting would be more effective.
Okay.
Because I'd be stronger, right? As a 15-year-old kid, you really don't have a lot of strength.
Right.
I had speed, I was accurate, I was efficient in my art, but getting stronger would always make you more proficient.
Absolutely.
So I said, I'll join the gym. So he put me on the bench press. I'll never forget it. He said, pick that up, lift that up. I don't know how or what to do or what technique. And I took it off the rack, and I did it for like 4, and I put it back down. And he looked over at Arthur, his partner, and he says, oh, he trains with us every day. It was 2 plates on each side. The first time I ever lifted
Wow.
a weight.
Impressive.
And proper.
Proper. I didn't even know what it was.
Right.
He said, just take it off and bring it to your chest and lift it. I did it like 4 times and put it back. And I remember his face. He
That's
looked
at
at it-
14 and it's your first time.
14. I
That
did
is
2
very
and a quarter
impressive.
for 4 reps.
Yeah.
Never ever even touching a ball before. So I remember the face exactly. I thought like I did something wrong. He looked at me and went, I said, here we go. He's going to tell me now. Don't meet up with us anymore. He goes, oh, he works out with us.
Absolutely.
And they guided me day in, day out as to how to train and what to eat and what exercise to do. Because I was with them. I just followed them. And then, you learn. You learn.
Well, I've never met anybody like with your physique and your stature.
Well,
I've never seen anybody built the way you
With
are.
my structure. But understand it's also, a lot of it is genetic because my
Absolutely.
entire family are big, including the girls.
Oh,
We're big people. So big hands, big feet.
mittens.
Yeah, like even my father's hands were like
Big,
Gotcha,
little.
yeah,
You gotta
nothing
put.
else thick.
You gotta whip
gotta
it
be a
out.
tough
You
cookie
gotta
to date a
show
woman in
that.
your family.
Show
That's
that.
what I'm saying. So it's funny because my sisters used to date guys.
No keto in that family.
Yeah. So my sisters used to date guys, and she'd always say, "Well, you have to meet my brother first because I'm the 3rd born, but oldest son."
Got it.
So in an Italian Puerto Rican family, you're the matriarch, like you're the hierarchy. They have to meet the brother. And
Oh,
I have a
that's
younger
awesome.
brother too.
That
but
is,
me being the oldest boy. So I have 2 older sisters, me, a younger sister, and a younger brother. So the guys would get to know me and they'd say, "Listen, respectfully, I'm taking your sister out and stuff like that." And they say, "You don't have to worry. I won't do anything stupid or something like that." I used to say to them, "You don't have to worry about me. She'll hurt you.
She's my clone.
You don't have to worry. Yeah,
She's
you
my
don't have to
clone.
worry about me. I feel bad for you because if you fuck up, you're dealing with her.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you
but
still
also
don't want to
knowing-
get. You
right.
still you don't want to get on your bad side.
Also knowing
Like
if you do get it to the point where I have to get involved, then yeah, absolutely.
you're gonna have a
But I used to
big
say,
problem on your
Your
hands.
issue is her.
Of
You know,
course.
I'm damn well aware of my sisters.
It's like 2 garbage trucks blocking a street during a parade. You know you're not going nowhere.
Yeah,
it
that's
ain't
it.
going nowhere.
Fuck up.
You
You're gonna
fuck
deal
it.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty impressive, man. So what are like your other experiences in the gym? Because obviously, your mentors. What is another experience in the gym? Like, what's the biggest takeaway that you could give us?
From-
Because we work out. Me and Billy
So,
work out.
I
But
know that you guys train, and obviously you're dedicated to it, and you do what you got to do. But and you're at it for some time now. No, how long? You've been training on and off for years,
mostly
right? I mean, on and off for
On and
a
off,
long
yeah.
time. But
most
even
of
in
my
the
life.
military, you did exercise, you did some type of working out.
Oh, they care. They wanted me small and
Yeah, but
crackhead
calisthenics,
status,
whatever
but
it
yeah,
is, you've always kept some type of musculature and conditioning.
right.
So you've always done something exercise-wise or athletic-wise. And you've been training for a few years, no?
Yeah, I played mostly sports, so my training came through sports, and then
Which was
this
still
has been
developing strength and speed and,
Right.
and conditioning.
and then genetics. I'm also I'm Irish Puerto Rican,
Right,
so
right,
we
okay,
have
so-
like that big. Everybody's big boned.
So that's my
Big bone.
family, and the worst and best of both worlds, because the food is phenomenal,
Absolutely.
but it's counterproductive to what you're trying to do, because you can't eat rice and beans and pork chops every day and try not to die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it'll definitely pack some size and strength on you.
Yeah.
But you know, I wheeze brushing my teeth. Talking about unhealthy.
Do you have
lifestyle.
issues wiping your ass?
And Italian? No, I use the vegetable sprayer from the
Had
You got it easier.
Do you go under? Sometimes I gotta go under after get a good pump. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
all right,
yeah.
goddamn it, I
I
gotta.
believe me. It's
Yeah, get
funny
greased
enough,
up.
There was a girl I used to date, and she had a bidet, like to wash
Ah.
yourself, and I used to use it and stuff like that. But being a degenerate animal that I am, I used to say to her all the time, "That's like a drinking fountain to me." Like after she used it, I would like go over and let the water splashing up, because she used to say,
You know why? 'Cause
"You're
why
really
not?"
Filthy. I used to tell her that.
Why not?
I said, "Is that like a drinking fountain?" She said, "Oh, you
You see Anthony filling up his
water
water
That
jug.
is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to the gym. I gotta fill up my water
I'm
jug.
from Brooklyn. It looks like a water fountain
That's
from
like
the
my
park.
PCA.
The park.
Like I'm filling it up from the bidet.
Man, you mean no
But,
acids, man.
But anyway, get back to the question with the gym. What that era taught me, because that era was very hardcore, legit, serious guys.
Sure.
Now you see these CrossFit kids, and everyone is Googling and Instagram following and trying to reinvent the
It's a joke.
wheel. You know that.
Yeah.
These kids are following things on their phone. They're jumping from one exercise to the next, to this, to that. It's not productive.
No.
It's not going to build muscle.
No.
Nobody wants to put the effort in or the dedication in anymore.
Absolutely.
They want easy, effortless, and still think they're going to look like these models on these Instagrams. What that ever taught me is devotion and dedication and sacrifice. Like, you got to train and you got to eat, and whatever else they were doing aside from the training and eating, as far as the drugs and the auxiliaries, was just an enhancement. These guys put the effort in, bro.
Yeah,
These guys were in
yeah.
the gym 3 hours a night, 5 days a week, like monsters.
Yeah.
And they used to carry food with them on the subways to come from, because a lot of them were from Bushwick, Greenpoint, Williamsburg, Brownsville, and they used to come
So
in.
that was like the Mecca. that
Yeah, so
gym.
they all met at that gym, because that gym was at the time the hardest core competitive bodybuilding gym
Wow.
Really?
around.
So it's reputable.
Fifth Avenue bodybuilding was notorious.
Do you know the name of the
reputation
gym? The name
Fifth
of
Avenue bodybuilding.
Fifth
Yeah.
Avenue Bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone now a few years, but like you said, filthy. It would flood when it rained.
Yeah.
There was dust and dirt everywhere. It
You
was
didn't care.
disgusting.
As long as it was open and you could work out.
I didn't know any better, to be honest, because it was the first gym I ever went into.
We
So
don't
I
know
thought
any
that's how
better.
the gym was supposed to be. But when I went to other gyms after that, I was almost disappointed. I'd say,
Yeah.
like, I'm not getting, like, screws aren't coming through the padding in my
Yup.
back.
You might get snagged on something.
Yeah, it would get
cut.
destroyed. The
You know
cables were all frayed, and you'd cut your fingers.
There
I was
was a
looking
gym.
for hepatitis.
It's true though.
There was a gym
Right.
like here on the island called Island Fitness, which I worked at when I was
I
a
remember.
kid.
I
You remember
back
that
in
one?
the day on New Dorp.
On Newdorp,
Yeah.
right across the street from ShopRite.
Yeah.
And I worked there. And
Was it
the guy's name was Dennis, the owner, and his
At
wife.
the time, I didn't know him. But isn't Island Fitness now owned by?
It's a furniture store right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Who owns the gym? Maybe it's called New Dorp Fitness.
Yes.
Or whatever it is.
Yes.
He was a friend of mine from the old days, back in the World Gym days. He bought that gym, and now he owns that. I think he's also a gym teacher or a school teacher.
Oh, really?
And he owns the gym, as his secondary business. He's got it for a lot of years, and a lot of guys still go there. It's still probably one of the more hardcore gyms on the island. There's really not too many left.
See, to me, right now, with all these gyms like LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, Intox,
gyms.
commercial gyms, like
Yeah,
they're all
franchise
good.
club.
They're all good, but I do miss that stank. I do miss the leaks. I do miss the rusty weights and the.
Well, it depends on the stink. Because there's things that you go work out, and I said that this in the last episode, you just can't work
Well, there
out.
are stinks in the gym now, but it's just
This is
body
more
odor.
like
It's more potent.
this
chemical
is
body odor.
this is the kind of
He's
stink
talking
that's
about, like,
gonna
the mold,
swell
the
you up.
danky-
Like it's gonna like this
Like
is
if you're
fucking-
talking to a guy, he smells
Like
like a
my
wet dog.
my
You know,
old-
like it's cool. I'm cool with that.
So even like my old basement in Brooklyn, I used to go downstairs and play the drums. I had a drum set down in the basement, but the walls were cement and the floor was cement, and it always smelled wet and moldy or mildewy.
Mildewy,
and dank.
yeah.
But that's a memory from a kid.
Yeah.
I used
Absolutely.
to say, that's that Brooklyn basement. That's that dank,
Puts a
wet
smile on
basement.
your face.
Yeah, you
Yes.
miss that. But now the gym smells completely offensive.
Yeah.
And I'm not the liberal crybaby who wants to rip down statues, but I gag.
Yeah, no,
I'll say to guys, listen to me. And you're talking about, like I said, a degenerate animal. There's almost nothing that makes me sick.
Yeah.
And I'll say to guys, bro, I can't have you next to me. I'm sorry. So it might be insulting, but it's absolutely disgusting.
You gotta invest in deodorant, like and just change your shirt, invest in
not
deodorant.
being a bully or ever any guy that I was, but back in the old days, I trained in a hardcore gym on Staten Island. If you remember Pumping Iron.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest core gyms ever in existence. And there was a kid who used to come in, day out. At one point I was working there. I was actually working the morning shift. And this kid would come in, and you'd smell him from the top of the stairs. As soon as he opened the door, the breeze would come through like mace. It would hit me in the face, and I go, "Phew." And after the second or third time, I said to him, I said, bro, listen to me. Before it becomes an issue and somebody in the gym says something to you and it becomes an argument or a fight, you're going to have to do something about your body odor. I said, either take a shower or use deodorant or do something, because you just can't have you here. You smell like raw onions every
I
day.
commend you for that.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
tried
the right
to talk
thing.
to him nicely at first, because he's a younger kid. But don't be so proud of me just yet.
Okay.
All right. So you commend me for talking to him nicely the first 2 times. One time I'm working out in the back of the gym, all the way in the back. They had a rack of dumbbells that were all the way in the back, and he's next to me. And I'm doing dumbbell flat presses, and he's doing side laterals. And every time he lifted his arm, I was getting sprayed.
Like
That's
a skunk?
disgusting.
Like he's doing this, and I was going like, it was wafting.
Oh.
out
He was
of
getting
my
like a
face.
little
Like
slap.
you could taste it.
Pepe Le Pew
Slap.
fucking
Yes, like
workout.
you could taste it. So I said, listen, I talked to you a few times, right? I just absolutely fed up and lost my mind. I went behind the counter, I grabbed the can of Lysol, I held him down on the dumbbells and sprayed him.
Oh,
wow.
To this day, this has got to be 20-something years later.
That's
To
funny.
this day, guys say to me, he never even said a word. He actually just watched me do it. He lifted his
enjoyed
other
it.
arm. Maybe. But it was probably the wrong thing to do, like being a jerk-off gym guy. But
It's gym
to
etiquette.
this day, 20 years later, I run into people, they say, bro, I remember the day we were in a gym. You sprayed me with Lysol." I go, yeah. I go,
It's
"Bro, I
one
just
of those
couldn't
things
take it
that's
anymore."
been following
You
you
were
around,
practicing
right?
COVID fucking
Couldn't
before
take it
then.
anymore. Bro, listen to me. For me to get sick and offended is really, you're doing something.
Absolutely.
You can't make me sick.
You're
I've dealt
following
with-
protocol, though.
listen,
It's cool, bro.
In all the years in bars and fighting, I've dealt with blood, shit, throw up, piss. I don't even blink an eye. This kid, I used to gag and almost
man.
like say, I can't be in the same gym. It was horrible. There were times in the gym, like a jerk off, I'd go in the bathroom and get the roll of paper towels, and I'd police tape around the machine I was working.
Wow.
I would run it around all the machines, and I'd say, listen to me, don't come within this square. This is where I'm training. Stay outside the square. I can't have you near me. I'm sick. Bro, and they used to say to me, remember you used to tape off the machines? I go, bro, it's like a caution tape.
And nobody's not going to say shit
No,
because...
we're funny. The guys, well, we had a good crew in the gym.
Yeah.
We were all very close friends. But
Yeah,
these
tight.
are gym stories from back in those days. They still laugh about it. They go, bro, I remember the night you taped off the machine.
You'll
You
never
welded
see
it."
that. You'll never see
That'll
that.
never
today.
happen.
No, that'll
again.
never happen.
These gyms
Please,
now,
sir, you can't do that.
Well,
You can't spray
if you
right.
told the guy he stunk now, they'll almost call the police on you.
Yeah,
You
no.
can't-
They'll
you
say,
can't
well,
talk
what do you
to
mean
them.
you stink?
Yeah.
Is that racism?
Like body shaming.
Yeah.
or-
They'll
That was
say
crazy.
Mark Zuckerberg is going to come right after you. His
Yeah,
Gestapo
yeah.
is going to swing you up. Like, all right, and you're
So
coming
you
with
asked
us.
me about, we got off track because that's how we do when we talk.
It's fine. It's
Whenever,
fine.
whenever any of us have a conversation, it's off the rails to 20 other topics. But you were talking to me about Facebook. I got banned so many times for racist, religious, and political views because my posts are pretty raw. You've seen them, right? But it's not anything wrong. It's just truth.
It's the
Or just-
truth.
Or just being raw.
Yeah.
Saying what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But silence the opposition. If you don't agree with them or you don't go along with their views or ideals or morals, you're wrong. So they've banned me 30-day stints, 24-hour stints, 12 days here, whatever it be. Pull my posts down so many times over the last year or so that the final decision was permanent deactivation. They shut my case down and on my page, and they said to me, if you want to file a review, like you're actually going to court, you could file a review and we'll check your posts to see if we agree that they didn't go against our community standards and stuff. And if we find that they weren't, we'll reinstate it. But you got to know they're not doing
These
it.
are the same fact checkers.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They're
okay.
just saying what they're saying to appease
Right.
you, just so that you don't bomb them. Because they know you're going to lose your mind and shoot up the school.
Yeah, right.
Right? So I said, okay, I give the 30-day test. I'll wait and see. When they finally got back to me saying, we find your posts were against regulations and standards and stuff, so your page is deactivated.
Deactivate.
I had to talk to a few people who've had similar situations, and they taught me what to do and how to go about, getting another page. And I've done it. It's no big secret. A lot of people have 3 and 4 different pages.
Right.
So, but then my plight, or my problem at the time was now trying to get back all the friends I had and the followers, and all my posts are gone, and all my pictures and everything. So you're actually starting from scratch.
Literally, yeah.
And I little by little caught one friend who had 3 of my other friends. So we all like when I friended you.
Yeah.
You
Start
have
trickling.
4 other mutual friends, so then they all started requesting me. So I relatively quickly built back up to what.
Yeah, I saw his
like it happened very fast.
I saw it. I'm like, who the, what'd you put on there?
Yeah, I don't remember which one was.
Yeah, the one with the glasses. I was like,
my picture.
who's this
my
guy?
picture. Yeah.
He's got glasses on.
When,
I'm like,
when
that's
he showed me,
Incognito.
I was like, that don't look
you
like
was
Incognito.
you was
Yeah.
hiding from Mark,
So
man.
my friend said that. My
I thought you was
friend's
behind
mother-
the bush and shit.
My
I was
friend's mother actually said, she goes, you put glasses on at work? I go, work for Superman. No one knew Clark Kent was Superman, right?
Nobody knew Clark Kent, yeah.
I put the glasses on, they let me have a page.
So you're Clark Kent 2.0.
Yeah,
I was
2.0.
I was taking the shit early in the morning, and I see Anthony. I was like,
But you said that. You said you started cracking up.
yeah, and I just couldn't stop laughing, and I immediately snapshotted it, sent it to Billy, and
And
I'm
know
like,
what I
yo,
thought?
accepted the friend
I was
request.
like, hell yeah, I'm requesting this.
You know what's
dude.
funny? I thought he
Let's
Ben.
hide him. Let's hide him in my.
I thought you were our graphic designer, Ben, and I
Oh.
didn't know Ben's name. And I was like, so
Oh,
when I
that's
seen
right.
you, I was like, oh, that's the graphic designer.
That's so funny.
It's so hilarious because I'm like, he looked like a fucking graphic designer, like those web dudes.
And you were all different and all proper. The names all laid
Listen,
out.
if you're going to change your persona, you're going to
Yeah,
change it
man.
fully,
You
right?
did it
So
right. You did it right.
I mean,
He
so
still
far-
hasn't found you?
So far, so good.
Hopefully, he won't find you for a long time.
Or-
and then
or-
when
viral.
they'll reinstate
Or
you.
like they say with the feds, he's building his case.
Yeah.
Little by little, slowly. It's all in an envelope. And
Yeah.
at one point
You
or
guys mind
another,
if I smoke a
no,
cigarette?
go right ahead.
Two guys pull up in a Suburban.
Right. Like the Men in Black.
We know he got him.
Bunch of guys in
got him.
glasses,
Right.
like,
They'll grab my laptop
They'll grab your
and the
laptop.
boxes of files, and they'll take
Your
me out.
car go on auto drive out of
Yeah.
here. You're
Yeah,
like, what the hell just
absolutely.
happened?
Like ice. They got me.
Yeah, they got
You
me.
know, right.
Technology and everything.
So
you're
funny.
gonna see Anthony in
But yeah.
prison cell.
Because every time I put up a post, funnily enough, I can use it. Watch it. Hot. When I put up a post, every so often, my followers who know me from my other pages say, "Oh, you're just begging to get thrown off," or they'll say, "Oh, it won't be long now."
Yeah.
Like I'll put some up, and they go, "Oh, it was nice seeing you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I said the
tell
same
them
thing.
because
I've
like,
been
oh, enjoy
saying
it now while it lasts.
I've been saying for years he's gonna do it again. He's gonna fuck himself
Enjoy it
over.
now while it lasts.
Boom, he's gone. There's
I'm
a
gonna
new
tell you, though,
request.
how
for
they
it.
got in my head, and this is the sick way to be. I don't want to have to walk on eggshells and worry about a liberal society that's delicate and brittle and fragile. I don't want to be this. When I'm contemplating putting up a post, I second guess it sometimes. I go, this might not be a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I used to put
Yeah.
it up. I used to go, oh,
Right away.
go. Now I look at it, I say, I don't know, man. They might misconstrue it. They might find a way to say that's something else, or because that's what they do.
But that's the idea.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It works.
Exactly.
That's terrorism. Like,
It's like,
they don't have to blow up an entire building.
no.
You know, terrorism back in the day, it started out, I read stories that they used to go door to door, like in these little countries, in these little towns. They would go door to door with guns and maybe shoot one person or dynamite a church or a dinner, a restaurant. And because of that getting out, people would say, oh, now we don't answer the door, or we don't leave our door unlocked, or you don't leave the house. So by going door to door, it affected everybody, because now on a wide scale, it started off slow, but that's terrorism. It terrorized an entire community by saying, yo, just like in here, like when they say, oh, there's guys riding around raping girls and stuff. Now girls don't go out late at night and walk the streets. It works. So what they're doing is, by getting in your head and making you nervous to actually do the things you would normally do, they got you.
It's a
It worked.
suppression of speech, suppression of
Bro, it
posts.
completely worked. I said
and
that.
and they're
Silence
taking
the opposition.
they're taking our rights away from us little by little, and guess what? We're letting them.
Well,
That's the crazy part that
You could tail that into what's going on right now with COVID.
It is
They're
crazy.
forcing you to act a certain way
Right.
and to take a virus, to take a vaccination that nobody wants to take. Well, not nobody, but the majority of people who are
majority.
skeptical of it. I just had this conversation with somebody. I thought we spoke about it too, but oh no, on Facebook actually. I was getting into it with a dear friend of mine, this kid, Paul Adamo. He's a dear friend of mine. If he's watching or when I give him the
Hi,
link,
Paul.
if I give him the link, I'm going to, shout out to Paul Adamo. He's absolute progressive, hardcore, one of the most intellectual guys I know. But me and him bump heads all day long, and it's fun
Sure.
because he has his views and I have my views, and they're complete.
And you guys remain friends.
So much so that I defend him when other people on my page say something to him.
That's the right
Like
way to
just
go
the other
about
day,
it.
a friend of mine said he posted something, and I went back at him, and then a third party, which is my friend, another good friend, said, "Paul Adamo, you're an idiot." And I says, "Hey, listen to me." I said, "That's a dear friend of mine for years and years, to the point of his family." I says, "You could disagree with him just like I do." I said, "Me and him bump heads and debate heated arguments all day long, but you won't disrespect him and you won't call him names." And he'd say, "But his views are the reasons why the world is as it is." And I go, "And he believes our views are the reason why the world is what it is." So
Yeah.
who's to say I'm right? Who's to say he's right? We have different views, different opinions, and we debate over it heated.
Without
At the end
getting
of the day-
personal, without getting nasty.
Listen, I love the kid. At the end of the day, he's my family, and no matter what we believe either way, I kill for him.
Absolutely.
And for you to talk to him the way you talk to him on my page won't happen. Because I said to this kid, you could disagree with him respectfully, just like I do.
Right.
Right? I don't call him an idiot. I don't call him an asshole. I don't call him a jerk-off liberal. He doesn't call me a fucking Republican asshole. He knows. This is what Anthony believes, and I'm going to try to educate him, and he does. He's very smart. He'll always send me laws and subsections and penal codes and all of that stuff, and I always get him with my sarcasm saying, "Yeah, well, they're doing a great job with such and such." And then he'll come back at me with, "Well, that's the, Republican assholes that allowed this to happen." We go at it.
That's an intellectual argument.
Yeah,
That's
right.
how it should
something
be.
That's how
that's
it should be.
something that's been missing from our society for a long
No more,
time.
because what happens now?
No more,
They have
yeah.
They
temper
say,
tantrums
and-
fits.
yup,
They jump to
yup.
the floor screaming and crying because they can't get their way.
I'm offended.
Yeah, with no facts.
I'm offended.
With no ability to back up
You
their
hurt my
arguments.
feelings.
Right, take down that statue. Stop that.
Take down
zero.
statues. Take away
Take
our
down statues
history.
from
That's
history.
crazy.
Listen, I told you this not too long ago. We don't have ancient history anymore or American history anymore. What they're doing is erasing that and starting history from, say, 2012 on.
Yeah, you did tell me
They're
that. This is-
rewriting it.
You did tell me
They
that
don't
recently.
teach the kids history anymore. They teach them from a certain date forward, indoctrinating them to believe that this is how it started and this is all you're going to learn. So in the future, they won't know how Congress came about or how the Constitution came about because they're not teaching them that anymore. They're teaching them from what they want them to know forward, which is a very dangerous thing to do.
It's
because
very
Even if
dangerous.
you don't agree with the history, you have to have known how it did, what happened, and how it started. I don't have to have agreed with Washington crossing the Delaware, but you had to know that that was a situation that happened in our lifetime that caused whatever it caused.
Yeah.
Well, when you erase history, it starts to repeat itself, and then when you allow people who shouldn't have a say, when we give them a platform, they start chipping away at our values slowly but surely, and now we're
And our
allowing
rights
it.
and our freedoms,
I
which is
can't.
happening now, like you just said,
Big
with this
time.
COVID thing. It may not be so much an argument of rights, because for what I'm learning from my friend Paul that I just mentioned, he shows me, he cites legitimate legal, documents that say during pandemic situations, just like in the past with smallpox and mumps and whatever else, the rules change, the laws change. The government has different rights and laws that they can instill to protect the public, which means maybe mass vaccinations, maybe quarantining, like a whole bunch of things that
So
they're
it's like a
allowed to
blanket
do.
statement.
No, like
Right,
like
so-
amendments to the
Yes, so
Constitution.
that when it's a flu or say a sickness, whatever it be, an outbreak, the rules are not the same as when they classify it pandemic, because now
Right.
pandemic opens up a whole different
Right.
list of rules that they're allowed to instill, like say with getting the
like once martial law is declared,
exactly
different
right.
rules
When they
start to
bringing in
apply.
different- so what do
Right.
they bring in, like when National Guard and things like
Yep.
that? So they change the rules when they classify it as a different thing. Just like if you're having a hurricane and they upgrade it to superstorm or
Evacuations, mandatory
now it becomes
evacuations.
different laws and different rules.
Right.
You have to be off the streets. They're allowed to stay, make you stay in the house. They're allowed to cause you not to park on the
Well,
streets.
that's what happened
It
after
changes the
9/11.
rules, so,
They
right.
they made Homeland Security based off what happened in that time.
Pandemic changes rules.
Exactly.
Now, whether or not we're in an actual pandemic, I don't know what constitutes pandemic. But once it's classified pandemic, the laws change, and they can instill vaccination. They can force you to get vaccinated, or they can force you to lose your job, get fired, or quit, or stay home. That's part of the pandemic laws. So he was telling me all about these things and stuff like that. But what I said to him was, I believe maybe back in the smallpox days and the cholera days or whatever it was, they made everybody get vaccinations, but I believe the vaccinations were also researched, tried, and proven effective. Not an emergency only situation. And never in the history of our country has the country had to bribe people or convince people to take a vaccine. Why do I have to
They
get
are
lottery
bribing
tickets
people.
or Mets tickets or
They'll-
burgers?
Or they're
that you
giving
get
people $100 or $1,000 or some crazy.
500. They enroll you in a lottery. You could win $10,000. Why do you have to convince people so much by bribing them to take a vaccine if it was proven effective and did what you're saying it's supposed to do? So that, to me, just enhances the skepticism and the doubt on the drug. So people are saying, maybe I was on the fence. I would have took it, but now they're pushing so hard and trying to convince people, hey, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Why? If it was proven effective and I knew it was going to work and it was healthy for me, I would have opted to take it.
But it only takes a certain kind of person to see that. A lot of people don't see that through that kind of bullshit.
So, like I said, I don't
If
know
you don't
for
have
a
that
fact
filter.
that the vaccines back in the days, in the 20s and the 30s, were proven and tried and researched. So I don't even know if we had an FDA back then that actually approved.
Probably not.
Right. So I don't know if there was any governing body that approved the vaccines in those days. But I damn well know that those vaccines that were in, research and development worked. This, I'm not too sure of, and I'm one of the first skeptical persons, and I'm doubtful of it, and I don't want to put it in my body. So what right do you have to make me take it?
Well, the knowledge that there's out about this vaccine is that there was no clinical trials. This was a genetically engineered vaccine. When you open up that door, that's a Pandora's
Approved for
box.
emergency use only.
Right. You don't know what are the long term. Like you can't
That's
tell
my
me
fear.
10 years old.
Well, not
Nuh-uh.
yet, because this is the trial now.
Right.
We're the trial.
You're the
We're
trial.
the guinea pigs.
We're the guinea pigs.
So in 10 years from now, you'll see what contraindications or side effects it actually had. But I'm not willing to gamble with that. I'm not willing to
Right.
shoot or Russian roulette with that, because that's basically what it is. Take this and we'll see what happens. It's not doing anything to prevent you from getting it. It's not eradicating the virus. Like, you don't take it and all of a sudden, boom, there's no virus. They're saying you still suffer from it, just not as severe. You can still contract it and you can still transmit it. So really, what is it doing?
Yeah,
What is it
really
doing?
what
I
is it
mean,
doing?
I'll be honest. I actually
And you still have to wear
received-
masks.
Well, I was just gonna say, I actually, so I was against the vaccine, right? And then when sports came back into play, I'm big on sports. It was kind of like, it was like almost like, man, I can actually go to a Yankee game if I'm vaccinated.
But
now.
understand, that's yet one more tack to get somebody
Right.
to take it. You want to go to a Yankee game? You have to have the vaccine.
So I decided against it.
Right.
I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll watch Yankee game. I watch all the sports
Watch
at home.
at
It's
home.
not a big deal,
Right.
right? But now they came out with these new rules in this city.
Which,
that's
by the way, I think like 12 or 13 Yankees have the COVID.
have it. That also
That's
were
crazy.
received. And they were aced,
And they were fully vaccinated.
fully vaccinated. Garrett Cole is actually pitching tonight from his 10-day stint on the DL.
So you could tell
on
me
the
anything.
IL.
I don't know anything about baseball. I just
Well-
know that stat because I heard it on the news.
Right.
So these were fully vaccinated pro athletes
Right.
who I'm sure follow every protocol to
Absolutely.
when they travel, when
To
they
a
do whatever
T.
they have to do, and they all still got it. I just also read something about Obama's birthday party in like Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
There's something like 70% of the people attending that party are positive
From it?
from COVID.
Wow.
I don't know that it's legit. It was on Facebook, so that's not really the Holy Grail in the Bible. But
Yeah, it's like
because that could be anybody trying
could
to
be like the
skew-
National
Yeah,
Enquirer.
right. It could be anything. But
That's Mark Zuckerberg
that could be true.
bullshitting.
That could be true.
It could be. I
Could
mean,
be
listen,
true. He had a free-for-all party at
400
Martha's Vineyard, no
something
mask,
people.
no nothing.
and it was reduced from I think originally like 700 or 800,
Mhm.
which is massive. What president who's not in office anymore holds a party
So
that,
here's my
that
other,
big?
I guess, I don't say fear or concern. I have a family getting married soon. You
Okay.
know, I'm best man at my friend's wedding and his fiancée. They're both dear friends of me, their family. They were supposed to get married last October. Paige and Tommy, shout out. I'll give them the link too.
Absolutely.
They had to cancel the wedding because the venue told them we couldn't do a cocktail hour at the time. It was the height of COVID, last October. Limit dancing, and the Venetian hour has to be cut because you can't have people on top of each other up at the lines getting,
Got it.
your chocolate fountain and stuff. So she was heartbroken, so they postponed. The venue refusing to work with you in any way, shape, or form say if you cancel the wedding, you forfeit your money, 30-something thousand cash you paid.
Which is a lot.
They don't give it back to you, forcing you to reschedule it at the same place.
Wow.
Okay. Rescheduling it for this upcoming October at an increased rate. They charged X amount of dollars per person coming because now you rescheduled. So maybe it was $10, $12, $20 more per person, which is thousands in the long run.
So they profiteering right now.
No matter what, they're going to make money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're not giving you back your original money.
Because they're not giving you an
charging
option.
you more per person for the new venue. She had a discrepancy with the DJ because
That's
he's booked
disgusting.
for the second date, so she couldn't get a DJ they wanted from the first date, who they love. So he's sending one of his, his associates. I think the cake or the dress, I don't remember which particular one, couldn't have been done by the same person because they didn't have availability at the time for her cake. Whatever it was just a series of disappointments. And now going forward, they're already emailing or saying with this possible shutdown or rules and regulations for the COVID that might hit again, could be a secondary
Quarantine?
No, she might have to reschedule it
course.
again, or might not be able to do it again. So heartbroken and frustrated. and-
Absolutely.
I mean, come on.
You just gotta hope that you hold on to your
But
relationship.
My point of it is this.
You might not even have
The
him.
point of that whole story
Yeah.
was this. Obama could have a Martha's Vineyard party with 500 people running
No
around
questions
maskless,
asked.
but my family can't have a wedding with 200 people, dancing and having
Which is
dinner.
probably why he did it in his house, because it's private property.
Well, maybe, but still, are you not still, governed
Right.
to follow the protocols?
Why are we
You
being
still got to wear
hypocrites?
masks. You still have to be, whatever it be, distanced. Otherwise, you're a super spreader. You're causing it to be just as
Absolutely.
anybody else. Why? He think his party doesn't spread the virus and my friend's wedding does?
Well, they're super elites,
And it's hypocritical.
it's extremely hypocritical.
For having
just-
a leader,
it just
you led a
frustrates me.
nation, and
Right.
this is how you go about
Why
it
don't you lead
during
by
a crisis.
example?
It
Right,
just
exactly.
frustrates me that the rules and regulations don't apply to the big corporations and like you say, the elite, and all the mom and pop businesses and the everyday middle class have to suffer and follow.